All right. So rule number one: even though you might be in transit and nothing is happening, never take your eye off the ball once you started the journey. And I'll tell you why. Let me tell you a story. I feel like this is gonna sound better with some music behind it. Let's turn that down. Um, all right, so I'm gonna get some work done while I'm doing this, so please just um bear with me. But so a couple of years back, my friend and I are going to Colombia, Cartagena to be specific, right? And we've been working. We were working corporate like crazy, 2 or 3 jobs at a time, just like really going at it. So we needed a like crazy vacation, right? We needed like a super vacation. So we decided we're gonna go to Cartagena. And back then, from Atlanta to go to Cartagena, you had to take. It had two transits. You had to go stop in Miami, and I believe Bogota or Medellin, one of the two of them. But we had to stop there before you get to Cartagena. So at this point, flying Delta, great. We're just gonna go to the lounge, get a couple of drinks, get some food in, and chill out. Easy peasy, no problem. Anyway, so we get on this trip, get to Miami, go to the lounge, plan as planned, sit by the bar, right? Because at this point, we weren't even hungry. Just wanted to get some drinks in. We had like about an hour to an hour and a half to uh to pass in the airport, like in transit. So we're like, all right, whatever. We're just gonna go ahead, you know, chill out for a little bit. So tell me why. For some reason, they never announced. At least we didn't hear it. Maybe the tequila was just hitting too hard. We never even heard them announce that the flight was leaving. And typically, right, when you're in the Delta Lounge, and now, by the way, I know the Delta Lounge now is like they're crazy about who gets in and who doesn't get in, but back then they were a lot more chilled. So, but nonetheless, like when you're there, they'd announce it like, hey, this flight is leaving right now. There's boarding or last call, or you see it in the screens. They had screens that showed you what flights are boarding or the timing of the flights, whatever. So there was almost no way for you to miss a flight when you're in the lounge. So we're drinking, we're sipping, and like it's two of us, right? There's no way we're gonna miss this flight. But we're wrong. For a minute, just a minute or a couple minutes. To be more precise, like 90 minutes, an hour and a half, we were just drinking that tequila back to back. I mean, it's free. We're in the lounge, Delta Sky Miles, we're living it up. We looked at the time, and for some reason, it's boarding. We never heard it. We looked in the boards, we see that it's boarding, like it's literally about to disappear. So we grab our bag, quickly start booking it to the gate. Going to the gate happens to be like the farthest I've ever seen. Like I don't even know why the gate was so far. Miami Airport just seemed so big at that time. And yeah, I mean, Atlanta Airport, if you know, Atlanta Airport is huge. In fact, we have like indoor transportation just to get you from one part of the airport to the other part of the airport. And so to us, like a lot of airports are not that big, but this airport was huge just from the lounge to the gate. Maybe it wasn't that huge. Maybe it was just like because we had to get to the gate that fast. It just seemed so big. We're literally running. Now I've seen people run in the airport, and sometimes I'm like, this irresponsible people. Like, why would you run in the airport? Like, do better. Be early for your flight. Whatever. Anyways, that day I realized that people run for their flights because um we booking it trying to make it to that flight because remember we still have another transit from Medellin. So if we miss this flight, we're probably gonna miss the next flight, which is gonna make this whole thing all a big mess. And we've already left Atlanta, so it's not like we can just go back home and try to reorganize this whole thing. So we had to make it on that flight. We get to the gate, and as soon as we get to the gate, we're looking at the agent close the doors to get on the plane. The little hallway to get to the plane. We're like, yo, we're here, man. Like, da 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 da. Like, come on, let us in. And he's looking at us like, boy, I don't miss that flight. Go figure it out. And listen, in case you don't know this, right? If you're a couple of minutes late for your flight, this is why they tell you to be at the gate at least an hour before the boarding, right? Because if you're late for your flight, they actually just give your seats away to anyone on standby. So if you happen to make it to the flight, maybe a couple minutes to spare, you don't have a seat. They already gave it away, right? And I've been on standby before, so I know like people that I'm hoping people are late because they're just gonna throw me on the next seat, right? So at this point, we're looking at it like we're literally watching them close the gate, watching the flight like pull back, and like we're like, yo, damn, what the hell? Anyways, long story short, we still go back to the lounge, keep drinking. They help us reorganize some flights, get our bags off the transit because if our bags stay on that plane, kind of messes everything up. So they kind of got our bags out. Woo. Help us organize another flight for us from Medellin to Cartagena as well. So we're sorted out. But the point of the story is that for a hot second, we took our eyes off the ball, even though we're in the middle of the journey, right? And this is kind of the example of people that have started something. Maybe you're trying to lose weight. Maybe you're trying to be a content creator. You're trying to, be this big YouTuber, and you started the journey. Maybe you've bought some equipment, you've written some scripts, whatever. And at some point, nothing is happening. And you just feel like you can sit on your hands and just wait and kind of do other things. But once you take your eye off the ball, like sometimes it's hard to get back in the groove of things. And this happened to me actually. We can even use Instagram for instance. Like back in the days, if y'all been following, right? I used to make these rule number one videos, and
rule number one,
I used to just turn on my camera, like literally the front camera on my phone, not even the back camera, the front camera on my phone. No lights, no script, no mic, nothing. Just turn it on, make the video, post it, woo woo. And it was getting a lot of traction. People were responding really well to it. And the thing about it is I've always been a creative director, right? I was heavy into creative directing and editing, right? And because of that, it kind of made me feel a certain way that I was doing the least amount of creativity, even though the creativity I was putting into it was more so with the words that I was saying. Like I was more so using, my writing skills to make those videos, or my creative thinking to make those videos, more than my actually like visual creativity. So for some reason, it kind of just didn't sit right with me to not put more into it. And I kind of decided to step back for a second, kind of regroup, infuse some of my creativity, maybe, throw some creative lighting, this and that and the third. And for a moment there, I kind of sat on my hands, and I still made the videos, but I just never posted them because I kind of wanted to I had a catalog of like 50 to 100 videos that I had already made that I just never posted because I wanted to have more creativity. I wanted to have this and that and the third. And I had the camera, I had the equipment. Like, in fact, at that point, I was running a creative studio in Duluth, in Georgia, right? So I had the equipment, but for some reason, like I was kind of trying to figure out how to infuse that into this whole thing. But what I didn't realize is that people that appreciated the natural aesthetic of it, the simplicity of it, like I didn't have to do all of the things that I was thinking in my head. And I could have saved that whole creative part of it for something else, right? And I was already doing that for a lot of other things, but I just never, for some reason, I just never wanted to do something that seemed so simple to me. And I just felt like I wasn't doing enough, and I kind of shut myself in the foot. And if you even look at social media now, the landscape of social media, especially on YouTube, like people are getting a lot of traction just sitting down in their backyard with their probably front-facing cameras and making videos for like an hour straight, and people are responding really well to it. You have videos of people talking about like they just turned 50 and these are the things that they learned, and there's no editing. It doesn't have to like impede on their lifestyle. They don't have to think too hard about it. They just have the points they're trying to make already in the back of their minds, and they just let it out, right? And just like I'm doing now, like I'm probably not gonna edit this video. I'm not gonna cut it or do anything. Like you're gonna get it the same way that I was doing it back in the days. And it's just something that I was kind of gifted with, right? And some people, they need to have that, break, and they need to memorize a lot of things. But if I'm able to think about things through, like I can just make the video straight up. And I kind of took that for granted, and for some reason me taking that for granted made me fall back for a long time without being creative for myself. I did it for other people, and in my head I still was participating in the whole creative journey, but I did it for a lot of other people, but never for myself. And even when I tried to do it for myself, my car got broken into, a bunch of catalog of things that I had done got stolen, and kind of, but that's a different story. The point of the story is that once you're on the journey, as soon as you made a decision to do a thing, if you started writing, you started by purchasing an equipment, even if the equipment is in transit, like it's getting shipped to you, start, continue, don't take your eye off the ball. Like, find other things to do in the process of that journey to help you move to the next level. Whether you're going to come up with new ideas, maybe you're going to script something, maybe you're going to, I don't know, do some practice runs, work on your camera presence or your confidence in front of the camera, like work on your voice, make sure you're not cringed by how you sound on camera. But don't ever take a long pause because you're trying to wait for this perfect moment, this perfect setup, the perfect lighting, the perfect this and that and the third. Believe in me, people are going to see the growth when you finally get those things together. But don't stop for anything. Even if you're waiting for an equipment, use your phone. Use your phone. Like I had a lot of success using the front camera of my phone, and this was back in the days when they were still doing iPhone 12 and iPhone, I think X or something like that. Like, it wasn't like no special camera. So don't ever let anything take you off the journey, off the path that you're trying to get on. Never take your eye off the ball. All right, think about it.
Say make a liver, I'm a waiting, no banana winner. Wait it on man to sinner. Oh baby, pull up in my bima. You know promise in a way to